But if it's gonna get us at least one more wedding from some sucker who just chooses to come with us because we have a blue check.
Harsh. You're not a sucker. They're subconscious tricked. Welcome back, everybody, to the Gimbal Guys podcast. I'm your host, Sam, along with my co-host, Nick. I'm starting to get more used to these intros now. What episode do you think we're on as of this point?
I want to say like, close to in the 20s, I think.
I feel like that's good because I've seen a stat where it's like a lot of people don't get past 5 episodes. It's good that we're keeping this going.
It's like, honestly, I know we tend to only record like once a month. For those of you who don't know, we batch record, obviously.
Sorry to give it away.
But it feels like, well, I think we have done like maybe sometimes twice a month, but it feels like you're here more than once a month.
Well, I mean, this month, I was here last week. So this month we recorded twice.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot. You were here last week.
But it does feel very familiar. I don't even need directions to get here.
We do this like all the time now.
Yeah, but it's good. Today's going to be fun. Because roles are reversed once again. Usually I'm coming in with a topic and Nick has no idea what's going on. But today I have no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. And Nick's going to give me something. So I guess just take it away. Let me know what's happening.
So I feel like every time I come up with the topic, it's always a shorter episode. So for those of you listening, if you like a longer one, sorry. But there's... Okay, well, I'll just dive into it. So the topic I have for today, it has to do with social media and revolving the question of, does follower count matter in the wedding industry?
Okay. First impressions you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Yes, but no.
Yes, but no. Okay.
Okay. Followers. So you want from a vendor perspective?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
we can talk about like some maybe personal Instagrams as well, but for now let's stay into like the vendor wedding stuff.
Right. Okay. Followers does not necessarily equal dollars.
Correct.
Per se. Just because you have a higher follower account doesn't mean that your business is going to be doing better, making more money. Sure, those things correlate sometimes. But what we see a lot of the times in the wedding industry is that there will be wedding vendors creating content for only other wedding vendors and getting large followings that way because it's super relatable. So like, a photographer creating relatable content for other photographers and they get like massive followings. Does that mean they're going to be booking more weddings though? Not always the case. The thing where I feel like follower count could come into play is it's stupid, but I feel like if a couple is finding you on social media, your follower count does give you a little bit of a sense of legitimacy.
It's like, yeah, they see it like the instant look and like, oh shit, yeah, they're legit just because they see a massive number.
Yeah.
Or if they see the K and like.
The K is good. I feel like at minimum you should have over 1,000, which honestly we didn't have until recently. Like once you hit you have 4 numbers there.
Okay, see, this is the thing because last night I did a little looking and I would say roughly 85% of the other wedding vendors that we know and that we follow, they all have significantly more followers than us.
Really?
We are on the lower end, yet our work and our business is still just as like sustainable and like our product is just as good as anyone else's out there. And they all have, I would argue the average was probably like 6,000. There were some that had like 4,000, then there were some that had like multiple 5 figures.
Okay. I mean, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because I would also attribute that to the fact that our account it's not new, but it's new. I would venture to say that our account is newer than some of those other ones. Like some of those other vendors and people that we follow, I feel like have been in the industry for like decades. And like,
I don't know if I'd say decades, but
a decade.
Yeah, we're younger.
Longer than us, essentially.
Our business is younger than theirs for sure.
So, I mean, that has something to do with it. The other thing about our follower base, based on the last time I kind of like did a little bit of digging, or just like the followers I see coming in, we get some followers from like other wedding videographers, but the bulk of our following is other wedding vendors that we would get referrals from. So like florists, planners, photographers, DJs, that sort of thing. And then the rest of it is, I mean, we have a large kind of like female following. So I would say it's a lot of brides or just like women interested in wedding related content. Maybe they're like, you know, dating somebody, but they're interested in wedding stuff and they're eventually going to get engaged.
Right. And I see that as a good thing. Like,
exactly.
It's basically like, in my opinion, it's not about, I've never cared, business or personal, about follower count. Like, never have, never will. But what does matter is not the number of followers, but who is following you.
Yeah.
And pretty much what you just said. Yeah. The majority of people, if all of our followers were just like other wedding videographers who just liked our stuff, like, great, thanks. Like, we appreciate it and all, but like, that's not going to help us. What's going to help us is, the people that will give us referrals, the florists, the photographers, that everything. And then obviously the brides or the couples who are following us to directly potentially hire us.
Yeah, exactly. It's all quality over quantity. And I preach that to my commercial clients all the time. And some people probably use that as a cop-out, but I really believe it. Because some people are like, yeah, no, you don't need followers, just because it's like, you know, their stuff might not get a ton of views, things like that. But like, I truly believe quality matters way more than quantity. And creating content that resonates with the actual target audience you're trying to reach. If you get 100 views of interested people versus 1 million views of people who aren't going to actually ever buy your product, like, you're going to want to take the 100, you know? And I feel like basically the audience we've built is more of that kind of like target of people who would eventually book with us. Because I see people following our page all the time for like our wedding stuff. It's most of the time it's, you know, a florist, planner, some other kind of vendor we could get a referral from, or it'll be kind of like somebody's personal account. And I'll click on the profile just to kind of like vet and see if this is somebody who could book a wedding with us. A lot of the times it's a picture of a couple as the profile picture. Sometimes it's like, if it's like somebody who's recently engaged, like, you'll see them posing with the ring in their profile picture. And I know instantly there, I'm like, this is somebody who's hyper targeted. And I've done some cases before where it's like, if they have a public account and they have a recent engagement picture, I've gone in and liked that post after they follow us. I know some wedding vendors will even go as far as like messaging those people and like direct touching them and things like that. But I just do it a little bit more subtly, be like, hey, we see you, we know you're kind of interested in our stuff. And
not that I'm like against people doing that, but I just think for like our brand, like, just feels a little too intrusive in their face. Yeah. To just instantly like, oh, message them.
Yeah.
But no, that's completely true. And then you kind of touched on it earlier. It's like the type of content that people are making. Like, you could have, you know, 50,000 followers on social media for your business account, but all the content you're making is like these just random trendy little reels to just get views and then in turn get followers, and you don't care about who's following you. So it's like the type of content and the quality of content on the account can't necessarily correlate to like, you know, a successful business. And if you're going to get leads, like, our content that we post is, I mean, in our opinion, like, you know, high quality, and it's like a direct representation of what we do, and it's targeted to the people that we want. Because we don't care about, well, okay, actually, no, this is the thing. This is what I always say normally, but I'm actually not sure if it actually relates here. What I would normally say is, I don't care about going viral. Like, virality is not the goal. However, when it comes to wedding stuff, is it like, does it change a little bit? Like, because obviously we want to get in front of as many eyes as possible. And if it goes, because honestly, let's be real, part of the reason we did get an influx in followers is from one viral reel.
Yeah.
And it did go viral. And a lot of people that followed us are like those random people, the couples that could in turn come like hire us. So it's like, is going viral now kind of a goal when it comes to wedding stuff specifically?
I wouldn't I feel like viral is just a buzzword. I would say, obviously, it's a goal to just get as many interested eyeballs on your stuff as possible. If it's 1,000, if it's 5,000, if it's 1,000,000. And I mean, we had a reel go viral, and by viral, I mean just like, I think it's over 1 million or 2 million.
No, it was
views.
over 2.
It's over 2.
Well over 2, yeah.
2 million views on a father of the bride speech. That is good for us. Good and bad for us at the same time. Some people are probably just following because they want to see more, just only like wedding speeches and funny moments and things like that. And, you know, we only shoot a handful of weddings a year, so we only have so many of those. So those people who are following us for those reasons are probably going to be disappointed in the rest of our content.
And they might just expect every reel to be some funny dad
Exactly. There's only 10 to 15 funny dads a year that we have. So literally that's it. What that does to help our business, though, is it showcases the value of wedding videography in the first place. You wouldn't have that moment to look back on if there wasn't somebody professional capturing that. And there was the one we posted recently at the time of recording this where the officiant broke off a piece of his like book because he made a cake or something like that. And like somebody, it might have been the bride or the photographer from that wedding was like, I forgot this happened. And I'm like, that's the value of what we do. And if we can get a lot of people to kind of like see that sort of thing, just because it's funny and interesting, things like that, you know, it might give them an idea. They might save that post for inspiration. If they're an officiant, they're like, oh, I want to pull this off at this wedding. And that's not, you know, super beneficial to us directly, but.
Okay, so that's kind of like the negative side that you're mentioning. Like,
it's not negative.
It could be.
It doesn't help or hurt us really. It just it'll hit the algorithm and hopefully, you know, eventually reach the people who are kind of like, this is the kind of thing I want captured at my wedding. Like I can see myself in this reel type thing. And then also kind of like our podcast clips, like our educational insights, they're just meant to provide value to people who are planning weddings or also just the vendor network that we have in order to kind of like strengthen those relationships and increase referrals. I mean, those are kind of like the two categories that our content strategy supports.
Right. And the fact that, you know, our content strategy is now curated pretty well to be, you know, we only put out the type of content that we want to be known for and, you know, want to educate and think can help the business. And I think we've been pretty strict with that. Honestly, more strict than I am with other stuff. But that plays into the role of like, we wouldn't have wanted a viral, like that 2 million view reel if it was, you know, instead of a dad speech, it was like us dancing with our gimbals or something. Like,
maybe we should. I don't know. Maybe somebody will hire us because they see that.
Because a lot of people who, you know, do have a lot of followers, like I said earlier, just are posting these like weird little trendy things just to get views. And like, yeah, it works to get the views, but the fact that we only post stuff that will help us, and that's the type of stuff that went viral for us, helped us way more than it would have if it would have been some trendy little reel.
Yeah. I mean, our podcast too. You listening to this right now, you are part of a small group of people, but you're listening to this for a reason, you know, like you're here because you are interested in us in some way, whether you're a vendor, wedding videographer, and you're just looking for something entertaining, that's fine. Hopefully by listening to this, you guys kind of like just get a sense of who we are. You get to know us a little bit better. And if you're somebody who's planning a wedding, that kind of like helps us build a relationship with you before we even meet you, sort of thing. If you're somebody who's just kind of like a vendor, if you're in the New England area, then like it's great to just like get to know all of you as well. But also too, like this is just a place for us to be helpful. I think it's great to also just provide value in that way. Might not always come back to us, but you know, some of those things will have repercussions, you know?
Speaking of like showing face, I guess like it's something we actually don't do, but maybe we should. Cause I was looking at a lot of other people and they're really good about like just talking on their Instagram stories. Like, not just, posting a reel that like reposting something on the story, but actually like on their phone, like talking to camera and that type of showing face to build that personal relationship.
Our Instagram story game sucks right now.
Kind of.
Not to sugarcoat it. We're great during wedding season because we'll do like a little BTS
so it's just
thing.
quick BTS on your phone, which I'm pretty good at. But yeah, I never because it feels weird for me to do that, even though like both of us have had time on camera. I've never been one to like talk to my phone on Instagram stories ever. That feels just different. Feels so weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, out of all my other accounts too, I basically almost never post my stories unless I'm like sharing a post to my story, which also isn't really like a super great thing for the algorithm if you're just sharing posts. Like people don't really like that as much, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's something we can certainly improve on is just being there, maybe posting a story a day sort of thing, just being present, showing more face. But yeah, we definitely don't do that well. And I think we can take some notes from people who are doing well.
Because like
do those things.
People always say, like especially in this type of industry where the personal relationships are so important, it's like, because the majority of our content, if not all, except for the podcast stuff, I guess, is not of us. It's really just of our couples. So if a random person is looking at it, they can't really get a sense of who we are. And yeah, we have it that way to be more of a portfolio, but obviously the personal relationship between us and the couples is still important. So yeah, these podcast clips help so they can see our face, but yeah, it might not hurt to attempt to do some Instagram story talking.
Guys, we're just having a brainstorming session here, actually. This is literally just us brainstorming, figuring out more of our strategy.
At least coming soon, you'll see a lot of iPhone BTS from the weddings. I'll try and go hard this year.
True, yeah.
And just be filming all over the place.
I mean, we hired legitimate BTS for one wedding last year, and I mean, depending on, I'll look at kind of like the lineup of things we have going. Maybe
it might be worth to try again.
Yeah, I liked it. We got a lot of good stuff out of it. I feel like seeing us in the field. I mean, I also got something out of it too because I got to like see how I actually act in the environment. I got to kind of like watch it back like it was game film.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say it just because like we made them carry stuff, so we didn't have to.
Oh no,
no, but that too.
Sorry, Kayla.
Thanks for helping carry some stuff.
Hey, maybe we'll hire you again to carry our tripods for us. Should we do it?
Maybe. I also wanted to bring up like, when couples are like searching on Instagram and they're just quickly glancing at these potential follower numbers, a large following does not necessarily mean they're the best videographer, like skill wise. Yeah. Like there are people for sure that have way less followers than even us that are way better than us just because maybe they're just not good at marketing themselves.
Yeah. I want to say it goes without saying.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. But I think you just need to judge somebody by the quality of their films, quality of their website. I mean, we just honestly judge them by the criteria that we outlined in the episode we recorded last time. Like, go through all of that stuff. Follower count shouldn't be a thing. But no matter what, no matter how much you think about follower account not being a thing, it is a thing. Subconsciously.
It is.
Like, just even, I think you were talking about it somewhere else as well, but the whole meta verified thing now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Does not matter at all.
Well, technically it's lost credibility, but I think some people still see the blue check mark and subconsciously something goes off.
Okay, no, actually I take that back because I think a lot of people don't realize, like the everyday Joe doesn't realize that anything's changed. Yeah. But for those of you out there, you're now able to just purchase a blue check mark. You don't need to meet crazy Instagram criteria anymore. You can just send them some money and you get it. So it, like, for those of you who are just judging off that blue check mark, it's not as an exclusive group as it once was.
Yeah. I think it's, even though it's not as exclusive of a group, people will see the blue check mark, see like a couple thousand followers, things like that. See that this page has like decent content. Maybe it's like curated. Maybe there's a color to it. And then instantly that page just appears way more legit.
Sure.
And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So you might have to like look deeper, but the subconscious level, those things get affected. You know,
should we buy the blue check mark?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Like, I'm not going to lie.
If it wasn't a subscription,
I have thought about it.
If it was a one-time purchase, I feel like if it was a one-time purchase, I would consider it. But the fact that it's a subscription, I don't like.
Do you know how much it is?
It's
I
like
actually don't.
$15 a month. But I think there's something else that like comes with it. Like there's supposed to be some other benefits.
What other perks could there be?
I don't know. I refuse to believe it. I don't think it's just a blue check mark because I think they would be stupid to do. I'm sure there could be a tier somewhere where it's just like a blue check mark. That's what you purchase with the subscription. But
interesting.
I feel like the Meta verified program is like they just add some extra things in there to make it like look more valuable than it is.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe if it gave us more like insights or something.
Yeah,
maybe. But
there's not much more we need though.
I know.
How many followers do we have? Who's following us? When are these people active? What are their demographics? That sort of thing. Those basic things. When are they active? When should we post based on when they're active? Where are they located? You know, we want to know people who are following us in the New England area, but also maybe in some destination wedding hotspots. Like those things are important. Above that, I don't know what else we'd need. We have analytics from our like lead side of thing,
right,
which was another episode we did previously. That stuff's important, but Meta's not going to give us that info. Maybe there's something else to it. I don't know. Let's look into it before we make any claims about it. But if it's just purchasing the blue check mark, this just feels silly to me. It's like a waste of money.
Yeah, but we did just say that people do see
I know. If the blue check gives me another wedding per year, then it's worth it.
No, honestly, that's how I look at it too. It's like, it's such a stupid purchase, but if it's going to get us at least one more wedding from some sucker who just chooses to come with us because we have a blue check.
Harsh. You're not a sucker. Their subconscious was tricked. So I guess they are a sucker. That's the definition of it. Walked right into that. Oh, geez. Okay.
I guess the last thing is not necessarily about the following. It's more of like, it's something I talked to Rachel about the other day, actually. It's like, everyone always talks about, you know, engagement on the posts and, you know, likes, comments, shares, whatever. And they always say that that's like some of the most important things, if not the most important things. But in reality, we were talking, it's like, it might actually, what we care about might be more of just the impressions, because there are so many silent scrollers that don't comment. I am one of them. I don't comment on anything. Sorry to anyone out there, but like, I sometimes don't even like stuff. Not because I don't like it, I just don't double tap.
Yeah, okay. You're the exact same way that I am. Like when I'm scrolling on Instagram Reels for just recreation, I don't like comment on anything.
I only comment
purposely because I don't want to be like, I don't want to track that. But what I will do, sometimes I'll save things if it's like I cook a lot, so I save recipes.
Oh yeah, I save inspiration stuff.
Save recipes, inspiration, or I'll like send something to my fiance or a friend or something like that if it's like funny. So I will share. So shares and saves definitely important.
Those are the most important. Like
likes and comments, not as important. Impressions also important because like occasionally I'll remember something I saw
exactly
that I didn't share or save or like or comment on, but I'll remember it. It still made an impact on me. It still made an impression.
Exactly. And that's what, like, it doesn't matter if they like it, comment, whatever, as long as they see our stuff and like we are in their heads of, oh,
we are in their heads.
They do wedding videography. Let me just take mental note of that. I need that down the road. I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
So that is way like has more value than people think it does.
Yeah.
Like impressions are usually not something that people tend to care much about because it's all about the likes and comments, but no, impressions matter.
And we're in an industry where it's a long game too. So somebody could see something we're putting out now, or they could follow us or interact with the post now, but that might not come to fruition until like 2 years from now. So it's a little bit of a long game of things. I mean, I've done work in the real estate industry before, and that's an even longer game. It's like you build a trust mentality with those people, and they might not be buying a house until 5 years from now,
right.
But if you're consistently showing up and they trust you, who are they going to go when they are going to go buy a house? They're going to go with you. And that just comes over building up that thing over time. So it's, some of it is a little bit of a waiting game and just making sure you're making those impressions and being consistent. I mean, everybody says be consistent, and I don't think it's enough to just post frequently. It's important to optimize the quality of those posts for your target audience, making sure that it's leaving them with some sort of value and it's not just noise. Something that stops the scroll, leaves an impact on them in some way. That way they kind of like remember you. So that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's kind of all I got.
That's all I got too. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Maybe it was, if you're a vendor, that hopefully that's probably more insightful to you as a vendor. I mean, takeaway as somebody who's planning a wedding, just do more research, I guess, than somebody's follower count.
Well, yeah, and also for the couples, don't judge social media the number. Like, do a deeper dive into their actual content. Don't just base them off the follower count. Yeah. Deep dive into their content, look at their website, get on a call with them if you're interested, and then vet them and all of those criteria that you need to vet them with. Yeah. Cool. I'll let you close it out. I'll close it out. I don't even know what to say. I'll go right into my spiel. If you guys enjoyed this episode, feel free to leave a like on YouTube and give us a 5-star review on Spotify. Follow us over there and subscribe. Also follow us on Instagram at SeaMount Weddings. We do care about followers a little bit. So please follow us. And if you're looking to book a wedding for yourself, the place to go is SeaMountWeddings.com. Thanks a bunch for listening. We'll see you guys next time.